Hello there, YouTubes. How the devil are we all? I'm very well, thank you for asking. You join me in the rather ominous lighting. I don't know why it's red. It's not, I don't see it as red there, but on the screen it's red, so my face is red. There you go. Anyway, I've left the volume on the thing because I'm out of practice at this. I've been away for a few days, and I thought I'll do another video. I've already done one today. I'm going to do this one as well. Because I don't know if anyone has been watching the Bill Nye Saves the World thing. I've watched bits and bobs of it. It's been all right, but I'm not as attached to it as because his show, as far as I'm aware, certainly on sort of terrestrial TV, didn't get shown here in Britain. I don't have quite the same cultural affinity with Bill Nye as North Americans seem to, or North Americans in the skeptic community, and that's sort of one of the thrusts of this little video we're gonna be taking a look at in a moment. And a lot of the I'm just gonna call them as I see them, anti-progress people in the skeptic community, of which the titular character Armoured Skeptic is one, have been rather upset with Bill Nye because they remember Bill Nye as this kind of nice guy who was doing like sciencey bits back when they were kids and got them involved in that. And undoubtedly Bill Nye's contribution to scientific literacy in America, because of obviously getting kids inspired at a younger age to get involved, means they're going to be more scientifically literate, so on and so forth. His contribution to that is Bill Nye's contribution to that is enormous. And so they're really annoyed at him in this one in the new series he's doing on, I think it's on Netflix if I recall. They've become very, very annoyed with him for one particular episode 9 specifically of the series, which is about gender. Because the point I've been trying to make to them for a long time, the science really isn't with them on this one. They're not being actual skeptics anymore. In a number of ways, they've capitulated to global warming denialism, again, totally against the science. They've some really, and again, not all of them, and certainly not I'm a skeptic in the sense that I'm about to mention, but some of them have started to go down the race realism line. Again, the science really isn't with you there, guys. Indeed, the racial supremacy sort of lines again behind you there, guys. And gender specifically is another area where they've jumped the shark, done a triple twist and landed on their bull bags. On another shark, I don't know where I was going with that, but anyway, they're talking shit. And Bill Nye, Bill Nye and his writers, I presume, who have done these things, have shown them, at least in very broad terms, the correct approach to these things, and they don't like it. And this is the thing that you'll notice about the community, is that they'll do the "oh, we love science" bit until it goes against them. And then all of a sudden, with the science thing, as if these people are fucking educated in the science. And look, I'm not going to pretend to be educated in the science either. And so I sort of have to go with what the scientists are saying, even though that'll appeal to authority. But when I don't know, I have to go with the scientists because they generally do tend to know. Correct in every way, of course, and scientists have been wrong in the past, are wrong now, and will be wrong in the future. That happens. They're human beings. Perfect, because again, it's a human thing, isn't it? But we have to essentially go with them, and at the moment, you're not winning that war, guys. So I don't know why you're pretending to still be skeptics when you're clearly not. And Armoured Skeptic in the area of gender is very much falling into that trap. And we're going to have a look at a video of his he did about that particular series, called Bill Nye versus the World, and more specifically about his the Armoured Skeptic's sort of analysis of episode 9, because it's like a 21-minute video. I'm not taking you through the whole thing. I just want to mention the sort of the gendered or the gender episode aspect of it, because Greg, the Armoured Skeptic, is, and that's not me, Doxy. Look, that's his name. It's out there. Shows himself to be. Let's be generous and say, not very knowledgeable, and not very honest. So let's screen share, and if I can remember how to do that. I haven't screen shared in some time. Right. Oh, right. Let's. Hopefully this will work now, and you'll be able to hear it and everything. Right. Let's go.
Episode 9 is called The Sexual Spectrum. This one's about biological sex and how it relates to gender expression and sexual preference. Or at least that.
Gender expression is a key phrase that we'll come back to in a moment.
That's what I thought this episode was going to be about. This episode is very clearly politically driven and has very little basis in science.
Untrue. I mean, it has every basis in science. You can still be politically motivated, of course. I mean, that's appeal to motive, so it's sort of fallacious. You're not actually arguing against the points there, but it's most assuredly based in science, Greg. If you have other information, I'm prepared to listen, but I know you fucking don't.
This episode completely changed my perspective on Bill Nye, not only as a public figure for science, but as a person. We start off.
Oh no, he let the science take him where the science will, rather than sticking to preconceived narratives. How terrible. Who's the real skeptic here? Armoured Skeptic. It's not you.
With this like abacus demonstration, it's designed to show how certain individuals identify themselves. Bill uses the term cis male. Who better to talk about sex than two tall white guys? Cringe.
No, not cringe. Accurate description. Basically, a cis person is like the opposite of a trans person, right? Look, there has to be a word for that. Just because you don't like it, just because you see it as an attack on you, you fucking fragile little snowflake. Oh, triggered. So pathetic. And by the way, if you've seen the rest of this video, you'll know why I'm calling him triggered there, because he does get genuinely angry. Because the science doesn't agree with Greggy Weg.
And he proceeds to explain that 1 in 400 births have gender-related abnormalities. And then he says sex is on a spectrum. Okay, so keep that in mind. 1/4 of 1% of people don't fit biological norms.
Oh no, because 1/4 of 1% don't, that means it's a binary somehow, even though it don't fit within the binary. So it's not fucking binary. It doesn't matter what percentage it is, does it? At the best, you can say, oh, it's a bit negligible, but it still breaks the binary. You've just admitted that.
I'm a little confused why he even brought up the percentage here, because he doesn't bring up any other statistics, like we're meant to forget. Next is gender. Gender is more how you feel and act as opposed to your chromosomes and your biology. That's fine, I'm still on board. But Bill forgets to tell us how rare this is. By the way, it's less than 1/4 of 1% of people don't identify with the biological sex.
Again, doesn't matter. It's irrelevant for binary. Simple.
Bill explains that there is no way to gender a brain by examining it, and then explains that just like biology, gender is also on the spectrum. Bill does not take this opportunity to discuss the connection between biology and gender. Instead, he just explains the spectrum as if there is no correlation between sex and gender. I found this a little disappointing because I wanted to know what scientists know about gender identity, but instead, Bill just shrugs and moves on. I know it.
To be fair, you can't expect him to do absolutely all the work. I mean, how long are the episodes? They don't go on forever, do they?
It seems like I'm overreacting here, but hold on, there's more. Next is orientation, or as he puts it, attraction. Bill explains that there's gay, straight, bisexual, etc. people. Everybody knows this shit already, but whatever. And to give you an idea here, Bill, it's 3.8% of people in the United States identify as LGBTQ. But wait.
This is what does the percentage really matter, Greg? Do you think you can just say, oh, fuck it, let's just let's just wipe our hands of this. It's just such a small percentage. Let's ignore them. Concept called privilege, Greg at all.
There's more. Bill calls the fourth one expression. It's the way people express their gender. Bill, Bill.
This is genius, by the way. I'll just let him ask a stupid question.
What's the difference between gender expression? What do
you literally just outlined it in the question before that one, or the explanation. It's how they express their gender. Okay, a gender could be, let's say my gender is male. I express that in what you might perceive as generally sort of traditionally male ways. I grow a beard. I got quite a deep voice, which I've not tried to change in any way. You know, I like sports and boobies, those sorts of things, right? And express a completely different thing. It's basically how you outwardly express an inward feeling, Greg. It's an expression. The fact that you've either singularly failed to grasp that very, very fucking basic concept, or have, for your own political ends, not based in any actual science whatsoever, decided to try and obfuscate and try and make Bill seem like he's trying to slip in some sort of nefarious extra meanings where absolutely none exist. Rather disappointing, although not massively surprising.
even is gender expression? Instead of an explanation of what gender expression is, he just cuts to a video about how K-pop is changing the way people in Korea express their gender. That's cool and everything, but what is gender expression?
A fucking gender, you daft bastard.
How does it relate to gender? Is there a correlation with biology?
There probably is, yeah. I mean, in terms of like the chemical makeup of your brain affecting like the way you dress, or like I said with the beard, whether to grow the beard or not to grow the beard, whether to shave your hair off because you don't like body hair, or to grow your hair long on your head to make it look traditionally more feminine, or whatever, right? I mean, these are so simple, such simple concepts. The fact that you don't get it means you really ought to shut the fuck up, I would think.
Of the population expresses. There's a little
100%. What? Oh, 100%. Greg, every human being on some level, because you know they get dressed, or
gender expression. It's made up.
It's made up. Well, there we go. There we go, everyone. Gender expression is made up. It's made up. It's made up. So if a dude wears a dress, that's not gender expression. It's fine. That's just made up. That's clearly what some sort of fucking collective mirage that's taking place there. It's made up. That has to be the stupidest or most disingenuous thing I've ever heard on the internet. Gender expression is made up. I really are your two options. Stupidest thing ever said, most dishonest thing ever said. Either way, it doesn't look good for you, Greg. Anyway, I thought I'd bring that to you because that was just a gem of what I'm going to go with as the stupidest thing ever. I hope you all enjoyed that. I certainly did. It was clearly, for me, why I've grown so, at the very least, disillusioned and at most fucking enraged and indeed outraged by the skeptic community, because they're not skeptics in the slightest. They've got these preconceived ideas in their head, and no amount of scientific proof or evidence anyway will dissuade them from it. So it's a binary. It doesn't matter that a quarter of the people are born with some sort of defect. It's a binary. It doesn't matter that a certain percentage are trans. No, that's fine. Let's just ignore that because it's inconvenient for my preconceived narrative. It sounds a little bit religious, wouldn't you say? Anyway, thank you all for listening and for watching. I'll see you when I see you next. Pip pip.